everybody, this is your girl Erica.
Continue for 52 miles.
Blog, ignore the GPS. It's a crazy weather day in Austin, Texas, and it's just a crazy winter day, winter mixed rain here in Texas. Now, I just want to go ahead and start this show off with, this is going to be one of those road shows, so sorry I don't see your comments, but support the channel, hit the like button, throw some comments in there, throw your city and state. I love going back and reading the live chat afterwards anyway, because it's comical. So, I was going to start this one off with talking about California and how I've posted video after video of showing California rampant homeless people. Whole parts of the city smelling like pee, broke down things going on all over the place, and people are sitting here going, but California's weather is so nice. The weather is really good. And you just start laughing. You know, I had an Uber driver who was in his, now he told me he was in his 50s, but he looked like almost 70. And I was asking him about tech, and he was saying he was in management, and he got let go. But by the time he got let go, he realized he needed to like apply somewhere else. But, you know, age and discrimination. Now, here's the thing, and I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but I've been encountering this the whole year. Now, I've flown maybe 30 to 35, I'm unsure at this point, first class flights. I only fly first class. If I can't fly first class, I won't go. That's just the point blank simple of it. And so what happens is I'll be at the airport and I stand up, and I used to read these jokes about traveling while black, and I was like, yeah, right, whatever. And middle-aged white men will literally get in front of me, no matter the airport, no matter where I'm standing. I could be standing right here at the line to go ready for first class and go in, and some older white dude will stand in front of me. And he'll crack me up every time. So every time I'll be like, excuse me, are you first class? No. I'll be like, well, then excuse me. And I usually walk past them, or I try to do it in a polite way, but not always. And it's comical because it's what you're happening is, and I've even heard stories where one time I was sitting there and the girl was 16, maybe 16, and she's asking her mom and dad, are we going to go sit in first class? And the dad goes, no, honey, I lost those benefits. I lost those benefits. I lost that benefit. I don't have it anymore. And what was so crazy was it was like a realization that we ain't sitting in first class, and then I had to walk around this whole family, walk all the way around them, and then when they're walking on the plane, walking towards the back, you can see their face was like, what? And I've had this happen multiple times, but what's happening is people are having these unicorn standards, and they're coming down. These unrealistic standards for companies, for pensions, for reimbursements, for, you know, even in Detroit, where the union workers are being paid high money, they are still expecting these companies to pay them exorbitant healthcare benefits. And they're like, Erica, it's hard work. They deserve those healthcare benefits. And I go, but they're making them almost the most money in the city of Detroit than most people, so they should pay their own way. So we're letting the air out of the balloon in our economy of this unsilliness. But this isn't just there. This is all Americans. Like, there's several studies. If you Google self-confidence in America, or what we would call, you know, self-esteem, or what somebody thinks of themselves, is at all-time highs. They ain't doing nothing for it, but it's at all-time highs. And what's funny about that is I see that in, and I'll be careful, dating and mating relationships in America. This all ties together. We're all in a bubble of people.
There's a disabled vehicle ahead.
I'm careful. They don't have realistic expectations. They won't set realistic expectations for themselves. And so unrealistic expectations go through all facets of life. Now, you know, I'll do the rabbit trail. Maybe a young man or young woman realizes they will never make a high amount of money. So then they become hyper focused, and I see this in the Black and Latino community, hyper focused on, if I look good, I deserve a high value man, a wealthy man. If I look good, I deserve a very beautiful woman. It don't matter I'm living in my grandma's house and I only make $500 a week. I deserve the best. And what ends up happening is it's just, if I can't have a good financial life, at least I can have a hot woman. Yeah. And that'll make me get out of bed in the morning. Now, one dude said in the comment, and Kevin said in the video, sevens don't get me out of the bed in the morning. Now, I'll be very honest. If you go to some of the events I've been to, and trust me, before Austin, Texas, I used to go to at least 20, 30 events a year in North Carolina to some level of socialite, right? I go to a lot of galas, a lot of golf classics, and I promise you, most men marry at 7, 8. They ain't marrying 9s and 10s. It just isn't happening like that. And if you ever see a guy that is married,
There's a disabled vehicle ahead.
She's hot. I promise you, it isn't all, sunshine and roses, right? And what's funny about this whole conversation that I keep seeing on YouTube, it is the enhancement. It is the 10x. It is the 10x of this, like, I deserve a hot model. It is like a man standing in the middle of the street throwing a tantrum because he can't get a hot model, but he will refuse to do the things that require a hot model, which is money. Knowledge. Do you know why there's a study that say bald men are considered more sexy and intelligent? Because usually they are. 9 times out of 10, when I meet a bald man, he is working out all the time. He is doing very creative things. And when I talk to him, usually he has something going on. Now, this isn't everybody. I know every bald man is not intelligent and got things going on. But 9 times out of 10, I have 2 friends who are bald, and they're in the dating scene, and they're upset because women think they're older than they are. And one time my friend, while we're all drinking, says, I got a great body, I dress great, I make good money, what's the problem? Now, we all want to say, because honey, you're bald and you look 5 years older than you are. But no one says that. No one ever says that. It is just, bald men look good, but we don't, most look good, right? And we're like, dude, every bald man works out the best he can, dressed nice, and da-da-da-da-da, and kind of laughed it all off. What we were trying to get him to see is, in the sea of bald men, you're not the best bald man. But there's nothing wrong with that. What we have to do is oh, listen. No. I see you guys super chatting. Thank you, doctor. I think a lot of people, as long as you think your spouse is hot, that's all that matters. Like, that was the point I'm working to. I'm working to it, Dr. Meadows. I'm working to it. Now, I think as long as you think your spouse is hot to you, that's all that matters. And what I was trying to get to is, most people marry 7, 8s and they're fine. They're happy. They're compatible. They're talking with each other. They enjoy their life. And so this hyper focus on this is a replacement of skills and assets. Okay? There's a lot of videos we laugh at on YouTube where the men get the weaves. Where the men's put the weaves on their hair, and we're all laughing. Why would this man get a weave on his hair? Oh, women get weave on their hair. It's a replacement for accomplishment. Most men, when they start losing hair, they go ahead and buzz it and go about their day and start doing what? Getting more accomplishments. And so I'm saying this is feeding into our society. This feeds into every asset of our society. We work in all these startups. Now, I was at Afrotech, and I spoke to lots of people who had great, amazing startup ideas. But I would kind of be like Shark Tank. I'd be like, so how does it make money? How does it make money? How can, you know what I mean? Not that I was like, I'm not going to give you no money for this business. A lot of them had amazing business ideas, but I was trying to get them to see, if you're talking to me or pitching anybody, how does this make money? Are you selling advertising? Are you doing this? And all of them would have these amazing, beautiful ideals, but they really weren't converting on the money. They weren't. That's the biggest part. They were not converting where it counted in the money. And I do this to say, the time of like all these like beautiful ideals and apps, they still have to convert to money. This is the same with anything we do. These ideals where people start getting obsessive on looks is a replacement for accomplishment, and there can never be a replacement, because guess what happens? Life happens. We get older. We get 40s, we get 50s, we get 60s. We should have accomplishments to help us cushion our later years in life. I'm feeling a lot better. I worked out with my personal trainer today. He kicked my butt. I was in there coughing, everything. But I am speaking on this because as I was out in California, I realized there were levels to it. There were people in Oakland who didn't even know about Afrotech. When I posted it all over Instagram, multiple people said, I didn't know about this. I never heard of this. I didn't know. No one told me. And what that showed me is, this is part of why I do YouTube, is because there's so much money being made out there. There's so much opportunity. Yes, I'm going to go take my vacation. I love y'all to death, but I got to take it. And I have a lot of golf classics, a lot of galas, a lot of balls, a lot of events scheduled for next year that, honestly, I'll show y'all bits and pieces of that. But that's just it. Life is lived off this platform. And what happened is, you get into circles where you're not getting good feedback. So if you were in Oakland or California, and I told you, you pay me $450 and you come to this event, there's 300 of the biggest tech companies in the world here, basically offering 100,000 to 150,000 in jobs. I would find $450, y'all. I mean, they even had a student ticket. I would find a student ID and be a student. I would find a way to get in there and get access to 300 companies who basically were looking to give opportunity. But if you are surrounding yourself with a circle of people that all they say is life is negative and things are bad and nothing's
There's a disabled vehicle ahead.
That's always going to be in your circle. You know? No, YouTube is not real life. Let me be very calm. Let me be very clear. YouTube is Instagram life, but spread out. Let me make that very clear. There's online life and there's offline life. You have a hyper echo chamber of people complaining about certain issues in certain parts of the community that are this big in real life. In real life, when you go out of your house and you put on clothes and you go to happy hours and you go to associations, you go to events, I see a sea of black successful men, seas of successful black people, successful Latinos, successful Asians, seas of them all over the place. They're falling all out of the sky, right? Short men, tall men, educated men, bald men, you name it. They're all over the place. I'm seeing seas of beautiful women all over the place. And I'm not just saying like, go girl, you're beautiful, but literally, I was at Afrotech like, let me go back home and put on some better clothes. Beautiful women. Medical sales type beautiful women. And what
There's a disabled vehicle ahead.
We get in these echo chambers online that the economy is falling, the sky is falling, there's no good men and women, everything's terrible. And you're getting into these echo chambers and depriving yourself from living true life. Life is to be out of the house to live. So when I say YouTube or online living, there are people who will live their whole life on the sphere of YouTube. They will do 5 to 10 hour hangouts, and they are entitled to do it because the platform opens the door for that. But I want to welcome you to outside living. I want you to, if I'm going outside, I want you to go outside. Not just as a bragging thing, but as a way for me to really, truly help you grow. Now, I'm already getting it started next week, the YouTube mastery course. I'm only having 500 students max. That's it, because it's expensive, and that's it. And I'm going off into the sunset. They're going to be live trainings every week. We're going to have the course roll out slowly. All the stuff is uploaded, but I just want you guys not to overwhelm yourself, because you can segue this into millions and millions of dollars. There were people talking to me who were CEOs of companies, and they were they were basically heads of diversity, and I may be able to get them to come to Austin, Texas. We have to see. And I was talking with them, and I was realizing I was making more money than they were. And in their moments of like, I think it clicked in their mind, like, this girl is making more money than I make. Now, status-wise, they have this status of getting the title of some type of CEO, and oh, the company sent you here. Oh, that's so wonderful, And what I'm trying to get people to see is like, step out of your house, man. Step out of your house, right? I literally met with a VC that had over $5 million to invest at Afrotech, but it was 4 people to come up to him and pitch him, right? And that's the problem. If we don't see these things, if we're not in proximity with these things because we're in the house and not out there living, then what do we hear online is people who are not living sometimes. And I'm being careful, right? Sometimes, not always. I love Nick Bear. I love Max Chewing. I love all those fitness channels who keep growing and changing and keep growing. That's the point. Like they are young men who now are hitting their 30s. Now the fitness videos look different. The fitness videos got knee pads on every video. They got elbow pads on every video because the body is different. And so the mind must be different. And this is what I'm trying to get so many people to see, that the reason I have an Uber driver who's 50 something years old and should be living the prime of his life in Florida and California because he's in management all these years, is now out being an Uber driver and lost his job because he did not change and develop and hit the switch. Now I gave him, we had a long ride because from where I went, it was a little bit further out. And I said, listen, all these startup companies are getting not the death of the unicorn, but it's kind of the death of the unicorn. Because they're not getting the funding and the VCs are not pouring money into them like before, because before it was like the hype machine. You could just have a bunch of hype and people would pour money. You know, the story was beautiful and these companies would pour money into your company because you had a great story. They'd be like, man, great story. Now you got to show where the company's going to make money, who's on your roster, all this other stuff. And I told that older guy, why do you think Facebook got more money, more everything, more, not just because because Zuckerberg was great, because he started adding adults with experience. Sheryl Sandberg, there's like 10 type CEOs over Facebook that are way older, in their 50s, experience for years. Okay, and that is what a lot of these companies are having to do, put people on their team that is experienced for years in order to do this. Right? Now, what is the whole bundle and the YouTube mastery and all this stuff have to do with it? I realized a lot of people I was talking to, you can make 6 figures a year with YouTube. You can make 6 figures a year with some of these things I've been teaching. Very simply, you get 3 properties in America, you're in the 1%. So to me, the bare minimum, and a lot of people talk to me and say, well, Eric, I got kids, I got a wife, I need like 15, 20 grand a month. Okay, it sounds like y'all drunk right now. Okay, y'all don't need 15 grand a month. You telling me that, but I don't know that. But what it starts with is just hitting that level. 3 rentals, you're in the 1%. And again, it's not even 3 rentals, it's 3 homes. So your first is your personal home. The second one you get. The third, now you're in the 1%. Just like that. Right? You have an online business that makes $10,000 a month. You are in a top echelon that is unknown. And what you guys understand is, the reason I talk about the death of unicorns is a lot of these people I hear, moderators, get that guy out of here. Moderators, get that guy out of here. Get that Douglas guy out of here, moderators. I can see that from here. Get these people out of here that are acting up. If you are a moderator, make sure you're getting people out of here. Don't make me have to work while driving. Don't make me do that. Moderators, okay? So back to the point. You always have to have people with experience on a team. And so as boomers complain about millennials having these businesses that don't make sense, that's your win. That's your entry point, boomer, for you to come into that business and make it make sense. It's for you to come over and say, no, 28-year-old guy, let me tell you. Long term, that dog don't hunt. And so this is how the economy can work together. Because there's a funny thing where it's like, there's a Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader fighting, and they have Darth Vader with okay boomer, and then they have Luke Skywalker as a millennial. Well, then they got Harrison Ford with his arm shrug calling it Gen X. And it's right. Gen Xers are lazy. I love Aaron Clary. Gen Xers are like, we're done. We're in our 40s. We could care less. They're not boomers, but they know what they need is just enough money for rentals and just enough money to take care of their parents And they're like, shrug the shoulders on the millennials. Sorry about you kids. And they're called the sandwich generation, honestly. Gen Xers are a sandwich generation, where they're having to take care of parents and take care of young millennials, which keep coming back to your house. Anyway, now, what does this all have to do? Setting proper evaluation of self. Oh, Aaron Clary goes hard on the boomers. I mean, he goes ridiculous. And the reason I'm putting this planner out and getting this last bit of the year rolling strong is because I want you to really do a self-evaluation of how much you think you're working. I've tracked myself personally sometimes and been like, oh, you weren't working that hard. You was coasting. And sometimes when you get systems set in place, like a YouTube, like an online business, like paid advertising, you start hitting numbers even when you're not doing that heavy of the working anymore. And that's part of why, as I talk to people out there, when people are talking to me about 2-hour commutes, this one girl said they get on a bus and ride 2 hours into where they have to work. And yes, they're making $175,000 a year, but 2 hours in the morning commute and then 2 hours on the way back. She says sometimes people log out of the work early, get on the bus to go home and do work on the bus from the VPN network. The VPN network is a virtual private network. It's I'm saying it wrong, but long story short, it's a way for you to log in on your company's system without breaches. Now you can use your ID card, you can use different things to help you do that, but essentially it's a VPN network. And again, I'm doing a terrible job of explaining that, but the problem with that whole scenario is 4 hours of your day is in a car. So for me, what I was thinking is, I just heard several adults who make $175,000, $150,000 a year riding on a bus for 4 hours a day. If that was me, I would be spending the next 2 to 3 years either completely getting out of debt, okay, or completely investing every single penny, every single dollar, because the old rules are over. And if you're at some company that's a startup and it's not guaranteed that it will be there, it will not be there in a year or two, then you need to be even more so 10xing every single dollar you have. There's something people keep saying that it makes no sense to me. Oh, my disposable income. You have no disposable income. Your income is to go to work. It is not disposable. When you use the word disposable, it means you're saying to toss away, to throw in the trash, to waste, to spend, to burn, to do reckless, silly things with. People say disposable income all the time. Now, I showed you guys the video where the guy was like 40 years old, switched over car loans 4 times in 2 years, and had $45,000 owed on a $27,000 Jeep Cherokee. Now, some of this stuff is unrealistic expectations. Some of this stuff is poor math skills. And some of this stuff is champagne dreams on Kool-Aid money. Champagne wishes on beer money. We all would like to have nice things, but we have to kind of do the measuring of our life. We all want to date Brazilian models, but is that realistic for you? Self-evaluation, right? So again, the planner, I put it out there so you can kind of self-evaluate where you at work-wise, mentality, gratefulness, gratitude, who do you know? And then as you look at them pages and review yourself, does it make sense what you say you want? Are you going towards the goal that you set for yourself? And honestly, some of you are always talking about, man, I want to be flipping houses, I want to do this. And I go, is it for cash flow? Is it for profit? What is it for? Just to be on the gram telling people you flip houses? Most house flippers, sometimes the margins are thin. We don't talk about those things. So look. I mean, here's the thing. No, they don't care. And the reason they don't care is California. 1, they don't care. And 2, where all the businesses are located, where people are working, it's like Mountain View. Anybody from California, put in the comments. It's Mountain View or Sunny View or something like that. Mountain View. And over there's nothing but like suburbs and families. So you have the choice to either live in just suburbs and families or live in Oakland, where it's going to be a little bit cheaper, which 2 2 bedrooms for $3,500 is not cheap to me. And a 1 bedroom for $2,000 a month is what I kept hearing over and over quoted. There was even a girl who was from Dallas, Texas, took herself out to California. Now, when I asked her why she did that, she's like, oh, Texas ain't paying like this. I said, no, honey, my friends make $154,000 in Texas. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, in Austin. You could have drove your happy butt down 3 hours down to Austin, Texas, and you would only commute 20 minutes, probably. Now, she was mind blown for a solid 3 minutes while I was talking to this group of black girls, and literally said, girl, I'm gonna go look on my phone in Indeed, because it's expensive out here. Now, there were another 2 black girls I spoke to, and one basically had a whole townhouse. When she got her job out in California with Amazon, she rented her house out and got a $10,000 moving bonus. So now this girl is in what? A whole nother level. Because if I was her, just being honest, and knowing how much they make, I would have took that lump sum $10,000 and bought another property in Houston. Point blank, period. Bought a whole nother property. It don't matter, I don't live there. I know that city and can get that rented out. Right? So it's one of those things where I was talking to somebody about, I bought a house, and I was saying the price of the house, and they were out in California like, wow. Like, it was so funny. And even the girl with their townhouse, she was saying the price of her townhouse, they were like, wow. Because they probably thought they were dumps, but then I showed a picture, I'm like, it's a brand new home, built from the ground up. And then the other girl showing the phone of her townhouse, brand new townhouse that she left to come to California for, you know? So, again, but for me, that's what I told her. I said, listen, I get it. They gave you $10,000 moving bonus, but I'd have took every bit of that $10,000 and bought some kind of property in Houston and rent it out. Because you're not going to get opportunities for you to do a hyper jump in your income. It's only when you change jobs. Because people say, well, I'm going to go ask for a raise. I'm like, I'm telling you, even people who work in companies and they ask for raises, you're not getting a 20, 30, 40% raise. You only get that when you change jobs or when jobs offer you a change to sign-on bonuses. And you're sitting here talking to people and telling them that, and they don't believe you. They gonna learn though. So a lot of these companies that you hear on the news, if you guys look on the news, you start watching CBC or Fox Business, listen to what some of these companies are saying. Oh, downsizing. WeWork had to let go of some of the people. They had to let go of the CEO because he out here living champagne dreams. A lot of these people, when I talk to you guys about manufacturer spend, multiple techniques they're doing are dying. So that means a lot of these young people are going to have to really start doing what? Actually investing that credit card money if they're going to play that game and actually get it to make money. Now, people say what they want about credit. Stephen Lau kid, he put a post up and he's like, people are so concerned about me having $17 million in lines of credit. But if it's at 0% interest, which, you know, let them say that, but 0% interest, and I invested in something that returns me 15 to 20% interest, even if the credit card was 4 to 6% interest, I still would win because the return's on the money. So when you're talking to people, you're wanting them to understand there's a new way of thinking. You know, Grant Cardone went on Fox Business and JP Morgan, the CEO of JP Morgan, who is all about hiring more black people, which I'm going to say something about that. And Dale did too. You know, Michael Dale Sutton is going to hire a bunch of black people. The job, even if they pay you $150,000 in a few years with your lifestyle creep, getting a mate, a spouse, kids, it will not be enough. Right? It will not be enough. Now, here's why I'm saying that. He got up there and the JP Morgan's guy, who's the CEO, was like, oh, it's going to be prosperous times in America for the next 100 years. Now, what he was saying was not incorrect. It depends on who you are, though, in America. Who are you in America? Now, key point here, that new American system, new way of thinking, this is why there's such a big disconnect from CEOs and middle-class people, quotation marks on middle class. You have to start investing. There is no middle class if you don't have investments that pay you. You aren't middle class if you don't have investments that pay you. Point blank period. And what's happening is people are waking to that unicorn of, well, I went to school and I did this and I did good and I should live well. That is over. That's over. Now, can you live in Georgia or South Carolina, North Carolina, or the South? Because I think the South is going to be the investment haven for the next 10 years. But anyway, some of these Midwest areas very cheaply on your savings. Yes, you could. Yes, you could. It's possible. You're not going to do much partying now, much travel, but you can live. Everything's paid off. You can live. But the thing is, when Grant Cardone came back on after, when he said, do you hear what he just said? He said that America's going to be prosperous for another 100 years. Grant, what's your take on that? With the recession and all that coming. And Grant's like, this is why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Because the disconnect. JP Morgan, he said, I'm not going to speak for the guy, but he's talking about investing. Talking about as long as you're investing for the next 100 years, your family will be fine. You'll survive. And this plays into that article that said in 2053, Latinos and blacks will have no wealth. The reason it said that is because study after study shows most black and Latino people only invest in real estate or insurance. They get a house, they get a very cheap policy. That's it. Now, even when it comes to business owners and the 1% in the black community, 9 times out of 10, the bulk of their wealth is in real estate and their business. So, key example, Oprah. Oprah out here living her best life. Do y'all know how much real estate Oprah has? Just millions on millions of real estate. That's the big thing people don't talk about. Like Oprah's businesses, okay. It's Oprah's own lost money for 3 years. It is the real estate Oprah owns. Oprah owns real estate from Oklahoma from Texas all the way up to Canada along I-95. So there's things that say that you're not listening to where the real money is making money, right? So Oprah is your biggest affiliate marketer in the world, right? Prime example, Oprah mentions your book on her book club or whatever, and you now are a multimillionaire, right? At the time, you had to come on her show, you had to do some things, or you had to go on the website, right? Oh, and it's not just land. Oprah owns like real estate, like rental, commercial, all kind of stuff, up and down from here to Canada. Bill Gates, same thing, up and down here on around I-95 all the way to Canada. What people don't tell you about is, and what they're not paying attention to, is you have to own some things that will make money. And those people will be fine in America for the next 100 years. It's the families that don't invest anything. It's the families that, oh, my son bought me a house. So now your son had to work double time, not only buy you a house, buy him a house, buy you a car, him a car. By the time all that happens, he's in his 40s. And you're in your 60s, 70s. You've sucked up the lifetime of that young man. Okay? And I've seen parents actually expect that. I'm seeing a lot of people who are really, their whole goal is to buy their parent a house. I gotta buy my parent a house. What? My mama been living on that side of town all these years. I'm hoping to buy her a house. I know somebody right now who's doing very well as a businessman. His father has struggled off and on with homelessness and drugs, but he's a military veteran, so he's like, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna help my dad get this VA loan, so he can at least live his years out in the house. This man is wrapping his brain around for 2 years trying to figure out how to get his dad in the house. I'm telling you, the reason people will struggle in the future is not because of just the economy, not because of the pay. A lot of companies you're going to see are start hiring people at higher rates because that's the demographic in America. I keep trying to I'm trying to get y'all to hear. You guys make sure your moderators get these people out. Get Yuffie or whatever his name out of here. Get them on out of here. What you have to do, you have to really listen. They're going to be throwing jobs out the window. Right now, all white people, 20% of all white people are over 65 years old. So for the next 10 years, you have to think of what type of senior home related businesses can I come up with. Do you understand? These things are necessary. How to help homes, how to help seniors, how to move them, all these things related to healthcare. That's why people act like, oh, healthcare recession. I'm like, no, we will not run out of healthcare jobs because we have a population that is getting older. Millions. We need them to be taken care of, healthcare wise. So healthcare will be fine. If you want to go in healthcare, fine. Make sure you're investing your money though. Now, on top of that, sales will always thrive. You think these companies are going to let themselves die? No, they'll hire a salesperson and expect them to figure it out. Sorry about that. Outside of sales, healthcare, and what was the other one? Tech, basically. Because what these companies are going to keep doing is getting smarter and smarter and smarter, but they're still going to need somebody to do what? Repair, train the staff. How can we train the staff to work with the new equipment? How can we get rid of positions with the new technology? But then if the new technology messed up, now you got to have somebody repair it. I mean, this is going to go this tit for tat back and forth. Now, if you're not a tech person, you're not a healthcare person, you're not a salesperson, that's okay. Guess what we still need? We're still going to need tradesmen. We're still going to need people to know how to do trades. We're still going to need people plumbing, construction. And the average construction worker and plumber in the United States is 60 years old. 60 years old. Oh no, look like we got a pile up over here. Ooh, that's bad. You cannot have a country function if you have the average construction worker and average plumber and average, what's the other thing? I think it's a welder as well. It's like 60 years old. Your country can't function like that. It just can't. There's just no way. Because you need things to be repaired. And think about all these older cities, Boston, Virginia, Alexander, 200 plus years old. Pipes, all this stuff will need stuff to be fixed. So yes, I'm talking to the young man who could do tech, talking to the young girl who could do tech. I'm talking to those people for them to get their mind right and not be stuck in 2-hour traffic so they're smart enough they can work from home. I'm talking to the girl who's in St. Louis or in Detroit and it looks terrible outside, but guess what you can do? You can work from your computer if you got the internet at your house, the 5G at your house, and you have your mind right. You can make the money. You can still make $100,000 being living in nowhere, Indiana, but you have the computer at your disposal. I'm speaking to those people because the future is there for them as well. Big Willie, we ain't gonna go on the 5G calling cancer. Let's just make sure you have fast internet at your house. How about that? Okay? And so I'm speaking to those people because the future's here. You just have to decide. You know what I mean? Yeah, New York's infrastructure is old as hell. All this stuff is very old. And what people don't understand is when you go to other countries, the number one thing they say is, I'm surprised how old America is. And they don't mean old in a nice, like, historic way. They mean old like, y'all shit is old. Like, how do y'all roads function? Your trains are old. Your airports are old. Like, all this stuff is old. Yes, and guess what? The next 10 to 20 years, we're going to have to fix it. Like, everybody's missing that part of the equation. You know, when Obama and all these people were earmarking money for fixing infrastructure, this is going to go on forever. The money we spent in Iraq war and Afghanistan should have been all into roads, all into construction, all into repairing this country. Because that's where we are. Like, we need that much. We literally need that much repair. And also, when you start traveling overseas, you see how different, like, everything. Like, I'm talking about Singapore, I'm talking about parts of Tokyo and all these people. Advance. Only problem with Japan is they don't have any immigration. They're very tight on their immigration. So, and then they have men who are becoming herbivores or whatever. Just play video games, stay at home, eat food, eat pasta, or what do you call it, noodles. And so you have a country that's dying. Super technology, but stagnation, expensive and stagnation. Now, the thing I showed y'all the other day about Philadelphia, you know, Philadelphia had a lot of crime. Philadelphia had 90,000 black women more than men there. And I was like, the thing about Philly, what people don't understand is, I still go to investors meetings where people are like, yeah, let's go buy some land in Philly. I go to investor meetings all the time about investing. Mohammed, no, they're not good. They're not good. Actually, Japan has multiple studies on the older version of that, which I'm gonna backtrack. I talk about herbivore men, who people are just, they pretty much work a little bit, go home, play video games, eat food, like herbivore, right? Hermit is what we should call it, but they don't. The generation in the 1990s, where in 1980s, where they had a lot of men leave to another place and go to work and just send money home, those are the men that Japan is having a problem with. No, goddess, no, well, that's actually what Japan calls it. Calls it something, I don't know. Something men. Google it, put it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. And so Japan has a high population of these single older.
In half a mile, keep left to stay on I-35 North.
Trying to find, like, how do we take care of them? Like, they're homeless, right? But Japan's homeless is very neat. Like, some of them are innate homeless. But what ends up happening is when they get older, or they can't work anymore and send money back, or there's no one to send money back to anymore.
Keep left to stay on I-35 North.
They have these leftover older men who need care. And so Japan has a problem with there. So it's not.
Continue on I-35 North for 72 miles.
Play out before, when a generation of men left to go to the cities to work and just sent money back to rural places in Japan, to the point now that they're so old they can't go back. And even if they go back, who's there to take care of them? There's no one there in that town to take care of them anymore. Right? So it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Now, Philadelphia being cheap as investing, yeah, that's the number one thing people talk about. But when I saw that stat, 90,000 more women than men, oh my God. Ugh, I would never even move there. I wouldn't even consider it. They'd be like, we got a job for $1 million. Nope. Same thing with Atlanta. Nope. There are men driving up from Birmingham, Alabama to go to Atlanta to find girlfriends, to convince them to come back to Birmingham, Alabama. I remember I was with Red Cross and I was like, are you serious? They were all serious, dead serious, and happy about it too. Like, yeah, we go to Atlanta every weekend looking for women. Yeah. And I thought it was funny. I was like, these dudes is for real. They for real right now. And so it matters, the makeup of a city. It matters what kind of skills you have, because if you get stuck in a city just because it's cheap, I'm going to tell you, yeah, buy the cheap houses, but don't live there. Live somewhere else. So anyway, that's just my talk today. But out here killing unicorns, the death of the unicorns, you know, basically, as I was watching CNBC, because I was with Terry, we had an Airbnb in California, you know, she's, you know, day and swing trading. You know, a lot of companies, these unrealistic expectations of the marketplace and getting met. The private Facebook group is still accepting people who pay for their subscription. Yes, we are. Yes. Did you pay for a subscription and you get in? Point blank period. And I'll do a video. I think I'm gonna have to sit at the computer and record it via Zoom, of all the things you can take advantage of on this channel. Because people will send me these emails, and some people are new to the channel, some people are from Instagram and they don't know. But yes, the Facebook group is still open. It's $10 every month or whatever. It's on a subscription. Yes, the financial bundle is still going. That's going to be the last. That's my only sale package I have for the rest of the year. The YouTube Mastery course will go out to the YouTube Mastery email list. Those people that were waiting on it, they'll get the opportunity to purchase it first. But those are the last projects for the year, really, and the planner coming out. Right now, the 10X team is reviewing over the planner, and then we'll be able to. Oh, I know, $10. So here's the thing, Big Willie, and honestly, I was talking with somebody, and they were like, I was talking to a consulting team, and they're like, get rid of the Facebook group. Oh, it's $10. It's a waste of your time. Da 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 da. And I was like, you know what? I want people to be able to connect in a community. And what's so powerful is people who've gone to my events are in private Slack groups with me, right? So they're in these private Slack groups with me. And in these private Slack groups, there are people there sharing that they got the funding course, and the guy he had 85,000 approved. Well, then he messaged an hour later, I got 120K approved. And the thing of it is I had some people leave the Facebook group. It's like, man, it's over what going and working on projects and moving and going somewhere in life. So it is this, when you're talking to people, it's so interesting that you realize that the consulting team wants me to get rid of it, but I think it's valuable. And I think if we can get 1,000 people in there who are all like moving and shaking, things will be crazy. But the converse is, the reason the guy was like, $10, why are you even wasting your time? Because the theory is, in a lot of things with business, is when people have $10, they're not going to really invest. They're not going to be serious. There's going to be a lot of turnover. And I've seen it. I've seen it through my notes. I see where people get in the Facebook group, they spend $10 for 3 months, and they're like, oh, I want to get out. I want to cancel my subscription. They ain't bought a course for me. They ain't bought a book for me. They just out here watching free 99 till their ears fall off. And so I know there's some truth in that. The cheaper something is, people don't really value it sometimes. And honestly, they don't put their best foot forward for it. I know that's true. And unfortunate, like I had somebody asking me the other day on Instagram, should I buy the how to get funding for your business for $250 or the bundle for $450? I'm like, you're getting 5 courses for $450. I mean, that's a no-brainer to me, but the choice is yours. That's literally what I told them. Because I couldn't fathom where somebody wouldn't want a deal. But hey, the choice is yours, right? Because at the end of the day, people have to decide, you know, is it worth it for me to go figure out how to go get $100,000 in funding and go finally invest in that rental property I want, go finally invest in this thing I want? And I can't make that decision for you. You have to make it for yourself, right? So we'll have a testimonial video coming up soon on several things. Like I just asked for people testimonials, and then we've done screenshots of like videos for years at this point, and we're just putting together on a compilation page. Because sometimes people are like, I just don't know, it could be a scam, I don't know, I need a guarantee. And I'll be laughing, I'll be like, okay, nothing in life's guaranteed, but if you say so. Some people can't do math, yeah, some people really can't do math. But anyway, that, and then the YouTube mastery courses for people who are trying to make 6 figures and beyond and use YouTube as a platform to grow their life. So it'll be a whole separate video for that. But, you know, there's 225 of y'all here. There's 57 likes. Make sure you hit the like button. I was supposed to go to Philly this weekend for the Women in Real Estate Conference. I didn't feel good, so I canceled my ticket because I think resting your body is important. And I had to come down here to Texas because the carrier service, which everybody's like, you should use a carrier service, Erica. You shouldn't be staying in the DMV and the title place. You shouldn't waste your time doing that. Well, guess what? This particular carrier service sent it to the wrong city. And guess what happens when you send registration to the wrong city? I can't complete the registration because I'm not a Dallas resident. So now we got to go to Dallas and let them shake loose my paperwork and then get my third-party company to register the truck. We got to do all these hooplas and jumping through loops. Don't make no sense. So again, if you can provide a service business, actually do good service. All software engineers today have YouTube channels, blogs, real estate courses. This is true. Anyway, I'll read a lot of these comments when I'm in a stop position. Not right now, but I just had to share that with you guys today. Thank you guys for coming on here. Thank you for sharing the day. Hopefully some of this helped y'all. If it did, great. If it didn't, good luck. So guys, this is your girl Erica Classy Climb Blog. You can Google me on Instagram at Erica's Classy Climb. Later.